interesting, I think.
So, you
Wait
ready?
a minute, I'm trying to get fixed.
Okay. My mother found something that she wrote. We're not exactly sure when she wrote it, but she wrote it about her hometown, and she's going to read it here. So, are you ready? I thought you were ready.
Will you wait a minute?
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Picture this. The Settles Hotel, about 12 stories high, built right in the middle of Big Spring. A nice little town of about 15,000 people back in 1942. It covered approximately 18 to 20 blocks in downtown, including the courthouse and jail in one block, and City Hall and the fire station, including a municipal auditorium in another block. If you saw the movie several years ago, The Midnight Cowboy with Dustin Hoffman, then you saw Big Springs' Settles Hotel. There was a shot of it in the opening scene. Surrounding Big Springs on the south and southwest side were what we called South Mountain and Scenic Mountain. North of town was the Elamosinary Institute on the edge of town, and then farming land as well. East of town was the Coston Refinery. Cotton, cattle, and cactus surrounded Big Spring. A few oil leases were within driving distance. At night you could see the gas flares burning. Down on First Street at the end of Main Street was the Texas and Pacific Railroad. Well, then beside it was the depot. A few blocks west and a few blocks east, there was two different large viaducts separating downtown from the north side of the tracks, which was called Mexican Town. We had lots to do in my hometown, and at that time, school spirit was great. The most fun was a special train chartered for the school to travel to Abilene or Sweetwater for the big football game. Everyone followed our steers. The town is named after a big spring located near our city park, which now has a special marker and monument. I have only seen it in the last few years, never could find it before. There is a state park also on Scenic Mountain, and the roads have been built and improved greatly since I was a teenager. Everyone loved having dances up there in an open air pavilion. That's also where the couples like to park. Dragging Main Street was great fun, and usually you picked up someone to follow your car and swing through the city park area playing ditch 'em. That wasn't the smartest thing I did, but luckily I didn't wreck my brother's car when it was my turn to drive. There was also a lover's lane that had great dips, and we went over those roads much too fast. We called them the thrill bumps. Saturdays, we sometimes would hike up the mountains and take a lunch to check out the small caves up there. First Methodist Upward League provided a great fellowship. Good friend's father owned the Ritz Theater, and we spent plenty of time there too. There was also a swimming pool and amphitheater where there were musical programs at the amphitheater. I did sing and dance there sometimes too. Well, that's all I've written, but I think I'll add some to this story. I loved working on the Big Spring Herald when I was 16 years old, and continued to work on the paper there as a proofreader, a society writer, a general person that would do a little bit of everything, including mark pictures of people that were in the newspaper. It was a wonderful time of my life, and I'm very grateful for the people that were responsible for having me work on the paper. The editor, Joe Pickle, who was a wonderful man, and the publisher, who was Bob Whitke, and they both encouraged me to go to college. I did go to Texas Tech for approximately 2.5 years before I was married. I'm grateful for my young life in Big Spring. My mother and sister were the ones who supported me. Our father died at a very young age, and I was raised by my mom. And being a single mom back in the Depression days weren't necessarily the easiest time of life. But I'm grateful to my sister for supporting us with her dance studio. And I was grateful to my brother, Joe, who was working on the newspaper, not the newspaper, the First National Bank, the State National Bank. He was a wonderful brother, and I'm grateful for everything that my family has done for me to support me through my life. Thank you very much. You can leave that.
Are you doing a speech for somebody?
I didn't know how to end it. You can cut me off anywhere.
Hey, wasn't Scenic Mountain, isn't that where Dad proposed to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have said that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
But I didn't introduce him in the thing earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention the cadets coming to town, and what a gay old time that was. I had more fun. I was a good dancer, and they would always give me a rush when I was out there.
Didn't you tell me that your first date with Dad, you had 3 dates on that day?
3 dates before he went overseas.
No, but didn't you have 3 dates on the day you had your first date with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with one fella to the base and had lunch at the officers club. We had a date to go bowling. And then after I went bowling with him and he went back to the base, I had a date with another guy. I think we went to a movie. I can't remember now.
But I thought you were late to get back to meet Dad.
I was. He stayed at my house and visited with my mother, and my mother had some lunch guests. It was a Sunday. And there was a reason that I was out on the base. Norman, I have to get all this straight in my mind. I didn't know I was going to talk about this.
Well, I enjoyed your story about Big Spring.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't even know you'd seen Midnight Cowboy.
You do remember it?
I said I didn't know that you'd seen it.
I didn't.
I thought you said you saw it.
Somebody told me about it. No, I did not see Midnight Cowboy.
Well,
but they told me that the Big Spring, everybody was talking about it being
in the movie.
I have a lot of little incidents that would be fun to talk about. The day that Joe Pickle told me to go down, the reason I'm thinking about all this, Norman, is I just came across Joe Pickle's today, his obituary that I had from the Big Spring paper when Mr. Pickle died. And he was so good to me. One day, I asked him, we were looking at some newspapers up on the desk that separated the office entry to the office area. And I said, Mr. Pickle, why don't you go to the city and work on the paper in the city? And he said to me, I would like to be a little fish in a,
No, I don't think that's what he said.
no, I'm backwards.
I think he said, I'd like to be a big fish
Big fish
in a
in
little
a little
pond.
town instead of a little fish in a big town. And that sure did stick with me.
Yeah, and then you moved to the big city and decided you wanted to be a big fish in a big town.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.